Hello everyone and welcome to Jurisedge Academy. In this video, I will discuss 10 important cases from international law which has been frequently asked in the UGC NET exam. So let's have a quick look. The Lotus case is considered to be one of the prominent cases in international law. Let's just quickly see what has happened in this case. There was a collision occurred in a high seas between a French vessel and a Turkish vessel, wherein the victims were the Turkish nationals and the alleged offender was French. So the question arose in this case was whether Turkey can exercise its jurisdiction over this French national under international law or not. So when the matter went before PCIJ, then the said court has laid down two important principles for which this Lotus case has been known. First is that a state cannot exercise its jurisdiction outside its territory unless an international treaty permits it to do so. The second principle which was laid down by court is that a state may exercise its jurisdiction within its territory in any matter, even if there is no specific rule of international law permitting it to do so. There are two modes through which state can be recognized. First is de jure recognition. It is considered to be final and permanent, whereas de facto recognition is considered to be preliminary or provisional in nature. But in Luther versus Sager case, the distinction between de jure and de facto recognition was blurred. So there was a dispute regarding the recognition of state in this instant case. So when the matter went before the court has held the moment when the Russian government has given de facto recognition by the British government, it has acquired sovereign immunity from being sued in the court of British government. And it doesn't matter whether a de facto or de jure recognition is given, because de facto recognition has got a retrospective effect. And this rule has been applied in a number of cases. So there is one more case which comes under the recognition concept. It is the Arun Zazumendi case. So there was a kind of conflict of authority between a displaced de jure government and a newly recognized de facto government. So when the matter went before the court has given the rights and status to the de facto government. So over here, the de facto government was prevailed. The difference between de facto recognition and de jure recognition is purely political in nature rather than legal. It just completely shows that whether the formal diplomatic relations has been established or not. Now we have Corju factory case. So let's just quickly see that what are the facts of this case. So basically there was an agreement between Germany and Poland, where the Germany has agreed to transfer the control of some ABC area to Poland. And on this condition, the Poland wouldn't forfeit any property of Germany. But this hasn't happened. The Poland has forfeited two of the German companies situated in that area. So when the issue went before PCIJ, it was held that the Poland had violated international agreement which was entered into between Germany and Poland, and thereby the Poland will be liable to repair any loss suffered by the Germany. So we have next case, which is Burkina Faso versus Mali, and it is also known as frontier dispute case. So the question related to the border dispute was tabled before ICJ, wherein it was held that an obligation with respect to international frontiers will still exist in the event of state succession. So the next case is Corfu Channel case, and this is one of the first cases decided by the ICJ. So there was an explosion of mines in the Albanian waters resulted into the death of some British naval workers, and on this basis the UK had claimed that the Albania was internationally responsible for damages. So when the matter went before the ICJ held that yes, there is an international obligation in peacetime which is being created through elementary consideration. And every state has an obligation not to knowingly allow its territory to be used for acts which is contrary to the rights of other states. Now we have a Nottebohm case which is related to nationality. So there was a person named Nottebohm, and he was a German citizen who had lived in Guatemala for 34 years. Guatemala is located in Central America. So when the Second World War broke out, he applied for Liechtenstein citizenship. So this is an altogether a different country located in Europe, and his citizenship application was also approved by them. So he traveled to this Liechtenstein country, and then the moment he came back to Guatemala, his entry was restricted. His entry was refused by the Guatemala government. So after all these chaos, the matter went before ICJ, and let's see what ICJ has held. So ICJ had observed that since there was no relationship between Liechtenstein and Nottebohm, and the change of nationality was merely because of a bluff which was mandated by a war. So under this circumstance, Guatemala wasn't forced to recognize it. Now we have right of passage case, and this was a case which was disputed between Portugal and India. So under this case, there was a Portuguese possession in India which was over the two enclaves, including Dadar and Nagar Haveli, and the Portugal claimed that it had a right of passage over these two enclaves. But later on, India had prevented it from exercising that right, and that situation should be redressed. So when the matter went before the court, the contention of India was that the practice between only these two states wasn't sufficient to form a local custom. But the court rejected this reasoning and finding no reason why a century and a quarter of practice based on mutual rights and obligation was insufficient for local custom to arise. Hence, this local practice thus prevailed over any general rules. Now the last case is the West Trans Central Company versus the King, and this case is related to the sources of international law. So there was a company named West Trans Central Company, and it was making allegations that its 2 parcels of gold were confiscated by the South African Republic authorities. And after this incident took place, there was a war broke out between South African Republic and the Great Britain, wherein the South Africa was defeated. So this company, being a petitioner, it was claiming that it was the responsibility of South African Republic to return the confiscated property or goods. But when the matter went before the divisional court, it held that there is no such principle available in international law which can make the conquered state to be liable for the confiscated gold. So hence the petition was dismissed. Please like this video and share with your friends. Also subscribe Jurisedge Academy to get the further updates.